So I'd like to ask first, um, we could go back to some questions, but yeah, I think this question because it's very important. So I'm gonna ask this now. All right. So in one sentence, oh yan ha, pressured. One sentence daw, Char. Okay. Why should students apply with your organization? And what makes your company unique? Ayan. So I think we should start with Andy. Andy, you have a fan. You're so pretty daw. I agree. Ayan. So you should start answering.
All right, thank you so much for that, Aiza. So that's quite difficult in one sentence. Okay, so well, in Monde Nissin, of course, we aspire to improve the well-being of people and the planet and create sustainable solution for food security. So we really achieve that, no, by having a lot of sustainable solutions in our company. We actually have a lot of team assigned to that. So being with us in Monde Nissin, you're not only helping the community or the planet in our sustainable ways, but of course we actually have a lot of engagements activities as well. So even though we're physically apart, apart, of course, we want to keep everyone engaged, and we make sure that even though you're a fresh graduate, there's a lot of career opportunities for you.
Ayan. Ang masunuri naman ni Andy talaga. Alright. Thank you, Andy. Okay. What about John? Ayan, Coca-Cola.
Yeah, that the question is really tough to answer in one sentence, no? But I'll try to make it
Two.
quick. No?
Okay.
So why would they want to join us? No, that's a question in one sentence. Love for community, company culture, inspiring leadership, exciting career opportunities, and competitive rewards. So I hope that answers the question in one sentence. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, John. Yeah, parang with your answer talagang parang nakita ko yung culture ni Coca-Cola, which you mentioned nga kanina, na talagang medyo high energy talaga. Yan. So thank you. All right. What about yan, Grace? Yan, I'm very excited for your answer.
Okay. Well, choosing your first employer is definitely a crucial one. No? So why? Because it really paves the way for you to go onto the career path that you would like to take for the rest of your life. No? But I see Northern Trust as an ideal workplace for you to choose because it is a truly global company. So not just by branding, not just by name, but it really is. So you do not need to go abroad to have that international exposure. You can have the training and grow your experience here in Manila. So that's it. I tried it to be
Agree.
one-liner, but it's more
Yes.
me being an international company. Thanks.
Yes, I agree too. Yeah, ang sarap sa Pilipinas compare going outside. We should love our country. Ayan. Thank you. What about you, Melissa?
Yeah, ang hirap kasi ng one-liner nun. Bakit lagi nakaka-pressure yung mga tanong?
Parang Miss
Guys,
Universe eh,
oo,
no?
parang, and thank you, yung mga ganun. Okay, so I think for URC, if you want to be part of a top local FMCG, no, a lot of, segue, hindi to part sa one-liner ko, pero segue kasi URC is a local company. And most of the times, it's a different culture talaga if you join a local company versus a multinational. Okay, so for those who are interested in that, again, next question, sila natin yung i-delve into. But if you're interested in seeing what it's like to be part of what we call ourselves a local multinational, because we do have presence, we're from the Philippines, but we have grown already internationally. So if you want to be part of a local multinational, if you love food, food and beverages, if you're interested, always curious, you should join us because we really offer something that's very different for all candidates, whether fresh graduates or experienced professionals. We're very challenging in the sense that manufacturing is a 24/7 business. So it's also a very competitive business now. So we really have to be on our toes most of the time because we always have to think of ways on how to hindi naman beat, but how to be more competitive now with our other local companies. So if you want to be part of something that's challenging, if you really want to grow, if you would join URC, it's really for the growth. It's for us, that's our number one passion. It's really growing people and developing people, whether that's professionally or personally. So if you're in it for the growth, if you're in it for the role, and you really want to expose yourselves to really good experts in the field, really good leaders as well, then you should join us. On top of being a family-oriented and very value-oriented company, I think that's what I can say for yours.
Thank you, Melissa, for the very long answer. Yeah, but yeah, thank you. Yeah, we got the point. So yeah, since you're actually here, there's a specific question for URC. So yeah, if you could answer this. So, can you tell me about your no, not this one. Tips on how to apply for URC brewery. So parang specific siya, especially for those who are fresh grad of chemical engineering.
Yan ang mga kailangan mag-research because we don't have a brewery, guys. URC does not have a brewery, so I'm not sure what the participant is asking. No, we do have C2, so that's our only brewery. I'm not sure if you're referring to San Miguel Brewery, but we don't have a brewery, so I'm not sure what you're talking about.
Thank you, Mel. Ayan. So, yan. Lesson learned na agad sa ating mga freshies. Tumpak. Okay. So, now I'll let Andy answer this question. Okay. So, Andy, can you tell me about your training or development programs intended for fresh grads? And when is the start of the application and what's the recruitment process? I'll put it
Alright,
also in the chat. Medyo madami siyang tanong, follow-up.
Okay, sige. So, thank you so much for that question. So, let's discuss first no yung hiring process. So, I believe na the hiring process almost the same din naman with others. So, it varies lang on the line interview. So, of course, you have to apply in our company website. So, I'll be sharing it with everyone. So, if you're interested, you may submit your application there. Naka-state dyan yung mga vacancies namin nationwide. So, wherever you are, you can check that. Okay? So, for the job hunting cycle, of course, it starts with the screening process as soon as you have submitted your resume. Then, interview and examination. Then, there's line interviews. So, for the line interviews, it varies no, per level and then per position. So, usually, nag-range siya from 3 to 4 interviews in total, including the initial interview. And then as soon as you pass the interview process, you will be scheduled for a job offer. And then if you accepted, you have to comply with the pre-employment requirements. Then you can already be onboarded. And then pertaining to the trainings and development programs that we have, yes, we do. And that varies per position as well. So as soon as you got onboarded, we have this new hire orientation. So we have new hire orientation for all employees. Then they will be endorsed to their departments for a department specific orientation. So we have a list no, of all the orientations that will be shared with you as soon as you get onboarded. So yeah, the first thing to do is to apply in Monde Nissin. Okay, so I hope I answered your question. Do you have anything else?
Yeah, so you should apply. So they have job openings posted yan sa Monde Nissin. So yan, nandito na siya. So you could apply there or you could apply through Prospel, of course. Okay. So I have some questions who are like parang pare-pareho. So I let Chris answer this one. So they're actually students here who are asking, or fresh grads with a degree in political science, industrial engineering, industrial engineer psychology graduates. So do you accept them daw ba? Or parang if not, parang what specific degrees does Northern Trust accepts, or at least would like accept for interviews?
Well, actually, while we are targeting business-related course graduates, we're still open to this graduates who are very interested to go into financial services. We have positions for entry level under a different department because it's not just financial reporting, fund accounting. We have other support or corporate roles within Northern Trust. So all they have to do is just to check on the career site and probably check what particular role would fit them. Um, they can actually lodge their application, and then the recruiter will be the one to reach out to them to check, the job fit and all. So it can be considered.
Thank you, Grace. So follow-up question on that. So of course you answered yes. Yeah, you guys had it. She answered yes. The next question is, can you give us some tips on how to persuade the interviewer despite mismatching of degree?
Yeah. But it all boils down to research. So you research first about the company, you check on their value proposition and all. Then probably check on yourself first if that's also the path that you would want to take. So since this is an international organization, probably you can emphasize on that degree. You would want to be part of a multinational company, and that you would be able to apply what you have learned in college, when you are in the right organization. So probably go through that research first and see for yourself if that's also the thing that you would want to do. Okay, so it all boils down to research. But apart from that, during the interview, you may also explain why you are interested with the financial organization, despite having the fact that you have took another course in college. So where is the shift coming from? So there.
Mm. Yeah, well explained. Thank you, Grace. Okay, so now let's move on to John. Okay, so yeah, ayan, John. First question is, do you accept applicants prior to their graduation, which is actually the graduation will be June or July this year? And next question is, do you have your own training and development programs, especially for fresh grads? So not the internship. Yeah. And what is the advantage of hiring a fresh grad? Dami ba dyan? Ayan.
Madami, pero we'll try to answer them as much as we can. So first is ano ulit yung first question? Sorry.
Do you accept na daw
Do you
ba yung
accept?
mga
Okay.
graduating pa lang this coming
I think
months?
I think a lot of companies do, as long as they can provide the certification that they have completed their academics, no? And we're more than willing to, wait for your graduation ceremonies. I mean, we'll allow you to take a leave for that, diba? But yes, you can start even before the graduation ceremony. Kasi ceremonial na lang naman yan, no? But we're really after the completion of the academic requirements, no? So hindi pwede kung kulang ka ng thesis, pero kumpleto ka ng academic. As long as you're complete with your academic requirements, I think pwede yun. We've done that in the past. I think moving forward, we're more than willing to continue doing that. Second would be the training and development program
Yes,
for not for interns, but for fresh grads.
fresh grads.
It's based on the function, but it's actually on the job. So it's a mix of on the job training. Plus, we do offer a lot of courses, online courses for now, under our Coca-Cola University, and in partnership with LinkedIn, we do have training programs that they can attend, whether it's aligned to their function or aligned to where they want to go a year or 2 years from now. So yes, we do provide training.
Ayan. Learning
And
never
then,
stops talaga. Kahit graduate
yes,
na kayo, guys. Tuloy-tuloy talaga.
learning
Super.
agility is very important in Coke. No, I joined the company bringing in more years of experience than my team. No, so medyo iba yung culture na nakasanayan ko sa culture that the organization had. The personality iba rin. But if I wasn't willing to learn, baka wala na rin ako after 6 months or before 6 months. No, in the same manner that we've hired a lot of fresh grads na of course still with us and happy naman. So yun. Sorry, what's the third question again?
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, actually, this third question, I will ask everyone to answer this. Yeah, but let's start with John. So, I want to ask, what do you think is the advantage of hiring a fresh graduate, since most of our viewers are fresh grads talaga?
Advantage of hiring fresh grads is that they have a fresh mind. No, They have full of energy. They have a lot of ideas, crazy and not so crazy ideas that can be very beneficial to the organization that they're applying for. And we're not, we are an organization that focuses on innovation, that loves innovation. So that's why if you will look at our roster right now, we have a mix of young leaders, no, in our organization that bring in new ideas, fresh ideas, out of the box ideas. So ganun din yung ina-expect namin from a fresh grad. We're not expecting you to work na parang just like an army. Gusto namin, when you join us, gusto namin you have a voice. We want you to share what's in your head. We want you to share um, your aspirations, your ideas, so that we can discuss, we can brainstorm which one is more aligned to what we want, where we want to go as an organization. So I think yun yung major advantage of hiring fresh grads. Ako, I like working with young people. I still learn from young people.
You're still young
I
naman, di ba?
Yeah, I hope. But given that, in terms of the visuals that you can see, you know, um, I have an intern that I had interns over the past year, and I learned a lot from them as well. So, we like working with young people. So, and we will continue to work with young people, even if we are a well established organization, even if we are a more, in terms of age, now we are more than a century old, but we'd still want to work with young people.
Ayan. Thank you, Jan. Sige. What about you, Andy? So, yan. Ano yung parang advantage daw ng hiring fresh grad?
Okay. So yes, I agree naman with John of Coca-Cola because pag sinabi kasi natin fresh graduates, para silang tabula rasa. So parang nasa clean state sila. So parang since bago sila in the industry, in the work environment, ang mangyayari is parang all the learnings, all the experiences that will be given to them in that specific company, in that company, parang ma-adapt nila easily. Because let's say they don't have parang prior experience, because usually pag experienced candidate na, usually they try to parang connect it with their previous employer, and then parang how can they do it better. Usually ganun yung nagiging factor, di ba? So pag fresh graduate, so there's a lot of new and fresh ideas, and given that we're of course FMCG nga, di ba? It's a really fast-paced environment. We keep on improving, no, and innovating our products. So by listening, by knowing what's the parang the ideas, the recommendations, maybe those are the things that we can use not for our future products. So yeah, that's very useful na yung mga fresh graduates. We're really leaning towards hiring them.
What about you, Melissa?
Yun na rin yun. So, for John and Andy, I agree. Basically, when you hire a fresh grad, blank canvas yan. So when they come in, it's very exciting. I also like working with them actually because they're very eager very excited. Not saying those who've been working for quite some time are not interested or not exciting to work with anymore. But iba yung level of energy that they bring. And I really feel the Gen Zs nowadays, they really bring a lot to the table. So I've noticed a lot of them are hustlers nowadays. They take 4 or 5 minimum internships now in university. Marami sa kanila may sarili online business pa on the side. So I really a lot to bring in terms of what they can contribute to the company, because they have a lot of experiences that they can share with us. So for me, that's it. That's the good thing about hiring fresh graduates. Personality-wise, as you can see, medyo keng ko yan. So I like working with kids also. I really have fun working with them. When you ask them to do something, they do it right away. Very, very excited pa nga kasi, very motivated. So the bouncing of ideas between me and them is really a good working collaboration. And that's why for me, I also like working with fresh graduates.
Ayan. Thanks, Elisa. Yan. What about Grace?
Yeah, well, actually, the reason why we're investing a lot on fresh graduates because we invest a lot on training. We invest a lot on relationship, and these folks, they're very agile. They would want to learn new things after college, And to top it all, they're tech savvy. No, so whenever you ask them to come up with reports, no, that the usual way on how we do it in Excel, no, they're gonna come up with their own with faster and better results. So that's the advantage to go to, because they're more technically equipped in terms of the IT side. And then when you ask them to come up with ideas, they would always, exhaust first by doing research, no. Even if we ask them to do you ask questions whenever you have one, but before they go to us and ask questions, they will do their research first. So I'm not discounting the fact that the experienced hires are different, but it's just that this is a very prominent character of a fresh graduate, no? Very agile.
I agree. Mga bagets pa kasi talaga yung mga yan. Ayan. Okay, so let's move on to the next questions. Okay. For those who um have these questions like how to apply, do you have opportunities for my degree and all. So if you go to ph.prospel.com, and if you just look at their profiles of our employers who are participating right now, you could see there the list of courses that they would be accepting. Okay, so that will save us the trouble of answering each of these questions, right? Okay, so you could just go to our website, and then yeah, you could browse it from there. Okay, so I'd like to move on now to the next one. Do you have job opportunities for fresh grads? Yes, of course, definitely. Just go again to the website. Okay. Okay, this one is already been answered. Okay, this one. Let's ask Grace to answer this, and Andy. Okay. So since you are now on flexible hours or work from home situation, and of course, our head office are mainly located in Metro Manila. So do you also accept applicants from provinces or cities other than NCR?
Okay. So let me probably go first. No? So we just have one site in the Philippines. It's in BGC. It's in Uptown Mall. So we actually have a lot of hires coming from outside the metro. So we deliver the laptop machine to them for them to be able to kick off working. So it's just that during the job offer, probably during the interview process, we set everyone's expectation. That if all this are done, we can come back to the office and work together face to face. So we set that expectation and would want to get their commitment that at the moment you're going to be working from home, but when the time comes that we're going to be asked to come to the office, you should be ready. Okay. So to answer your question, yes, we do. You can work outside the metro, but if there would be a need for you to come to the office already and do the on-site work, you should be prepared to do that.
Ayan. Thank you, Grace. Yan. What about Monde Nissin? What about you guys, Andy?
Yes, I agree with Grace. So yes, especially for corporate employees, we allow them to do work from home. We provide Wi-Fi and laptops for those employees so that they can do their job very easily. No, so for that setup naman, well, nothing has been finalized as of now. So if we'll continue the work from home setup, or if we'll go back in the office. So given that we have different plans naman and offices nationwide, maybe we can profile them to some of those kung alin yung parang pinakamalapit to their location. And of course, they should be willing then no, to report in the office or in the plants, especially if they're already in need. So yeah, the flexibility of working from home and reporting on site is highly appreciated sa mga applicants.
Ayan. So, yan. Well answered naman, guys, diba, yung questions nyo. Okay, so we will move on na. So, these ones are for URC and for Coca-Cola. So, I'd like to ask po if the school we graduated from would be a big factor in applying. Ayan. So, yan. Please answer. Yeah, I think we should start with John.
Okay. That's a very good question because you know, people tend to be very biased with the top schools. No, it's actually happening. It's been happening for so long. But I think what I can guarantee all the students here in this call is that um, it's actually going to be dependent on you. Okay. So, but we do process, work with, hire, not just only those students who are not just coming from those top universities. So we can work with everyone. In fact, we have a campus engagement calendar this year, and we intend to connect with them more. Those universities that you can find in nearby provinces, or in Metro Manila, or the major universities and colleges closer to our facilities, the manufacturing, because we really want to build relationships with those um, universities and organizations. But just to assure you, um, in Coca-Cola, we don't discriminate. So regardless of where you came from, where you're from, we will process you the same way we process everyone in the organization. So that I can guarantee you. So you just have to make sure that you present yourself the best way possible. Because at the end of the day, even if you're from let's say, for example, Oxford University, you know, but you don't know how to present yourself, compared to someone who studied in a local, in a state university other than UP, then of course I'd probably choose that person over the one who graduated from a big university outside the Philippines. Diba? So I think that hopefully that answers the question.
Thanks, John. Ayan, Melissa. Answer the question din daw.
Yeah, I agree with John. No? It's really also about the soft skills. So there are certain positions where we do tend to look at schools to be transparent, specifically those with more technical related courses. So case in mind, if I'm looking for an engineering graduate, I would go to, UP, Mapua, Lasal, the ones really known for those types of courses. Because, I wouldn't go to, sorry, hindi naman ako affected, no? Taga-Ateneo naman ako. Pero wala naman kaming engineering doon. So, I wouldn't go to Ateneo for an engineering position. So, there are certain positions naman na, as much as we don't want to admit we're biased with the school, they're really more well versed in those types of principles. So I think that's the only really hard aspect that I would look at in terms of school applications. Your course, no, if it's very technical and you're known for that course, then I will go and hire you. But other than that, if it's a level playing field where there's no particular skill that we're looking for, then I'm really open naman to all. There's no bias and there's no judgment with regards to where you came from, as long as mentioned by John, you can present yourself well, you can articulate yourself very well, you're very presentable, then I'm okay naman din to hire from those schools.
All right. Thank you, Melissa. Ayan. So each companies talaga, so parang it would really depends. The best way, guys, is to really send your CV for you to know if makakapasa talaga kayo and all. Yeah, and just keep on trying. Okay, so we're down to the last two questions. Most of the questions are actually can be answered. If you go to their Prospel page, you will see if naka-hire talaga sila ng degree. So yeah, we won't be answering it, but yeah, just research on their page in ph.prospel, and then you'll be able to see them. All right. So this will be the last question for Miss Grace of Northern Trust. So, okay, here's the question, Miss Grace. So to put more context, I am a graduating student of legal management and would love to venture into the field of finance or banking since I recently found a great passion for it. So can you give me any tips, please, Miss Grace?
Oh, that's nice. That's nice. Because more or less those legal background have a space in the financial services. Because we have this what we call corporate actions team where we require someone who should be on that field. No? But sometimes we would require certain years of work experience. And sometimes we really accommodate fresh graduates. No? So the best tip for you there is to look into the job description pretty well and always look into the background that you had in college if it's matching, okay, if it's really something that you like to do, because definitely legal management, if you're going to look into the Philippine context, those would land a job in audit, tax law firm, right? But if you're gonna go to the financial services, you might as well be landing on the corporate side of the function, no, not on the operation, like doing accounting related stuff. So definitely, once you see a job that would fit you there as a legal management graduate, you go ahead and check on the job description pretty well and align it with what you want to do. So to answer your question plainly, yes, we do have something for legal management graduate. It's just that since this would be a field wherein it's not a straightforward industry for legal management student graduates. So you really need to align with what are the things that you're looking for. And definitely the recruiter would be the one to tell you that, to explain to you further as to what the job would require.
And thank you so much, Miss Grace, and thank you again for participating. I learned so much personally. Yeah, and I'm sure all our viewers who are 230 plus have learned so much as well.